News dial.
For 6 years, he entertained your kids at home, but do you recognize this man? Maybe you need a clue?
We put it in our blues, blues, blues. You know what to do.
Yes, it's Steve Burns, former host of Nickelodeon's Blues Clues. Steve has come out with his debut CD called Songs for Dust Mites. Steve Burns, good morning.
Good morning.
Boy, you've changed.
I know, when you put them back to back like that, it's really strange.
Are you freaked out? I mean, come on, look at you. You have facial hair now.
Well, I lost some regular hair, so I'm trying to just keep the overall hair ratio proportionate.
Well,
so I grew some facial hair.
It's looking good. But
Thank
let me
you.
tell you, I mean, 5 years ago, as you've put it, you were consulting salt and pepper shakers and a little blue puppy.
Yeah.
And now, here you are with the CD with the group Flaming Lips, a group that you really, really admire. I mean, is your head spinning?
It is, but somehow it makes sense to me, you know? I mean, there seems to be some weird logic between working on Blues Clues and working with
Can you explain this logic?
I can't. It wouldn't work with any other band. It wouldn't work with any other kid show, but it just seemed to make a lot of sense.
Music was always your first love.
Sure.
And your yearning to perform in some way, a weird way, kind of got you into Blues Clues.
I never really made a distinction between the acting and the music or whatever it is. To me, it's all kind of the same thing, you know. Some days it's, you know, for a while there it was Blues Clues, and now it's Songs for Dust Mites.
Let's talk about Songs for Dust Mites, because what happened is that you basically called up. It was kind of cheeky of you, Steve. You picked up the phone.
I'm a cheeky man.
And you called this guy who's a producer of Flaming Lips.
Yeah,
and you said, hey.
I called my favorite record producer. I knew someone who had his phone number. I just called him and said, hey man, you are wonderful. And he said, hey, I just had a Blues Clues party yesterday for my kid. So I guilted him into listening to my CD, and he called me back and said, let's work on this.
Yeah, I mean, so the irony is that working on Blues Clues actually did help you get your CD or your music listened to.
Yeah, I mean...
And he said, and he was surprised by how good
Yeah,
it was.
I think in general people are surprised that it's good. You know?
Which is probably complimentary, but sort of weird also in addition.
Yeah, I think it's a compliment.
Well, let me tell you what some other compliments, because he's not the only one who is saying that it's pretty good. We've got here, Newsweek writing, here's the weirdest thing. It's really good. The alternative press says, it's so good that it phoned you to give you a spiritual high five. Whatever that is, it's positive.
Yeah, that's right.
And so, how are you reacting then to this kind of good feeling about your work?
It obviously is very edifying. It feels very good. It's very affirming. But, you know, it's really not up to me. Like, I work very hard on the record, and it does represent my best efforts, and I'm very proud of it. But past a certain point, it's not up to me and other people. It's up to people like you. It's up to people like, you know, those very kind words.
So, I mean, we're hearing some of the background here.
Yeah, that's me.
I mean, this is serious.
That's Stephen
rock.
Drozd from the Flaming Lips right there playing the drums. He's a wonderful drummer and a good dude.
Let's talk about the kind of music. The best way to describe it is about science and love.
I call it sweet-sounding songs about science and love.
When you think about, well, let's talk about this. Were you afraid after 6 years on Blues Clues that people would not take you seriously?
You know, I don't think Blues Clues has caused any sort of credibility deficit. I think that's an amazing children's television show, and it is, and it's a wonderful show. I'm incredibly proud to have been even involved in it. And, you know, I think coming from Kids TV it just makes the story more interesting.
So those kids are now old enough to probably buy this?
Not really.
No?
Not really. And if your 4-year-old is really into nanotechnology, then they'll love the CD. But I didn't write it for kids.
There's one video that you have, a music video, though, it really is going to turn some heads, because it shows your character, you, I guess, you know, what, looking like you've been a victim of violence there with that near black eye, smoking going on, some...
I'm not smoking,
you know,
I'm
but
smoking.
Some people are smart smoking, and there's some kind of...
Well, this is more just an everyman thing. This is just the classic angel and the devil on the shoulder morality play. The guy in this video is just like everybody else, and that's the point of the song.
But it must be kind of fun now to be able to be who you really are, and not have to live kind of a squeaky clean image, you know, as you did for kids.
And it's weird. And it's weird because, I mean, I'm sure you go through the same thing, that it's people expect you to inhabit the same moral construct off-screen as you do on-screen. And it's got to be just as hard for someone who plays a villain on television. you know, as for someone who plays an incredibly nice guy on television. But I like to think that I am a pretty nice guy in real life.
I think you are too, Steve Burns. It's been a pleasure to talk to you. Wish you every luck with your music.
Thank you so much.
Sounds like a lot of people are listening.
Thank you.
And we'll be back in just a moment. But first, this is Today on NBC.